Hello viewers, welcome to the YouTube channel Lex Consilium Foundation. I am Major General Neelendra Kumar and today our resource person is Colonel Jaswant Dabas. He is a 76-year-old engineer, graduated from BITS Pilani after his initial schooling in Delhi, and then he worked for some time with the Haryana Agricultural University as a farm engineer, and then next move was to Dehradun. Passed out from 33rd Technical Graduate Course, and he was assigned Bengal Sappers, and after he had done his VIOs and a short service at Dharchula on UP-Tibet border, he was posted in Allahabad, and he was with the very prestigious, well-known regiment 234 Engineer Regiment, and he landed up, reached Allahabad, and this was in early 72, if I am correct. Sometime then at that stage, the Indo Pak war and particularly Bangladesh having just been concluded, he found that there were 7 prisoner of war camps in Allahabad, and the distribution or the workout of these 7 camps was, there was one camp exclusively for officers, one for JCOs, one for the families of JCOs OR, and the 3 camps for the other ranks. Now the 7th camp was called CUPC. I would say that again, CUPC, and that meant civilians under protective custody. Now what had happened, you can imagine that the West Pakistanis who were there in Dhaka and other places in Bangladesh, when Bangladesh came into existence, they felt naturally very, very unsafe. Rightly so, because had they been caught by the freedom fighters or Mukti Bahini elements, their lives would not have been spared. And therefore, they sought protection from the Indian Army. And these families of high class, if I can use the word high class, high society, West Pakistanis were kept in an exclusive camp that was known as Civilians Under Protective Custody. Jaswant Dabas, you were a captain then. You found that you were in this camp, and in this video, we will talk to him about his experiences handling these type of prisoners who were essentially civilians, and they were connected with the civilians, high officials of West Pakistan who were in Dhaka and other places of the erstwhile East Pakistan. Now, with this background, once again, welcome Colonel Dabas, and all yours. Please start. When did you reach there? Who were other officers in this camp? What part of Allahabad was it located? Or whatever you want to share with this audience.
Thank you, sir, very much. As you rightly said, I joined the regiment after my VIOs. That was in December 72. I got married in February, went for leave, and rejoined the unit. It moved from Dharchula to Allahabad. That was in March.
Yes.
On my joining the regiment, I was under 25. I could not get a merit accommodation. So my CEO thought it proper. We were given a duty, assigned a duty for the PW camps, and more precisely CUPC as a guard.
Yes.
One of the field companies used to do the guard. I was permanently stationed there in one of the barracks around that camp with my family. So this is how I landed up there. I was looking after CUPC. As you said, it is Civilian Under Protective Custody camp, one of the 7 camps there. In this camp, there were the high officials of the Pakistan, including, say, very senior officer, later on became the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Abdul Sattar. At that time, he was the chairman Pakistan Power Board and was in Dhaka when he, with his family, he surrendered for protection. Then we had some professors, engineers, senior engineers, and about 2 families of the officers who were in the officers PW camp. One was Wing Commander Riaz, another was Major Afridi,
Now,
who was a Baluch.
These 7 camps of ours at Allahabad, who was the overall commander?
Sir, the camps were controlled by 3 PW control group.
Yes.
And Colonel God was the group commander.
And he was from which regiment?
Garhwal, sir. He was from the Garhwal
Garhwal,
regiment.
infantry.
And
Okay.
later on, he was part of the Operation Blue Star also as a
Okay.
senior officer. Then we had, it was a complete, there was a brigade major, there was a DQ there were intelligence people in that setup, there were medical people, because the complete administration of the camps was
Okay.
this thing. And the guard duties were assigned to various units from time to time.
And in
And
this unit, how many officers were there besides you in
Sir,
CPCU?
from my unit, I was the only officer assigned, but the company
Okay.
used to, with the
Okay.
JSOs, they used to change over, sir.
Please
That
continue.
was this thing. And the DQ of the, now I remember one Major N.K. Sasteva of the Maratha Light Infantry
Okay.
was the DQ of the PW control group. And we had retired officers also who were engaged. Eminent among them was one Lieutenant Colonel Pereira.
Lieutenant Colonel Pereira.
Pereira, he was an ex-RT chap who was
Okay.
served in the Indian Army pre-partition also. In my camp, the setup was, it was housed in the RT Brigade mess, just on the GT road, which goes to Fafamau
Okay.
from the cantonment. Fafamau bridge and leads to Banaras further on. The camps were astride both sides of this GT road.
Yes.
There were some mazars along the GT road, so the camps were adjacent to some mazars in that area because a lot of Muslims and all this was there. So there was also a security
Sorry,
risk.
sorry, I will intervene just to understand. You said the camps were on both sides of the road. Road was passing in between.
In between, sir. The
Must have
cantonment
been a
was
big security issue.
It was a security issue.
Yes.
It was a security issue, and more so when the mazars were there, we were always afraid that somebody may take
Yes.
advantage of that mazars.
Right.
A few incidents which are fresh in my memory, sir.
Okay.
The
Please share them.
layout of the camp was, there were double fencing. The patrolling was between the fencing by the armed guards. There were towers all around, 3 or 4 towers or maybe 5 towers, depending on the how much is the perimeter, and connected by telephones. At the gate was the control center, and each tower has a LMG, were manned by 3 people.
Light machine gun.
3 people, sir.
Yes.
3 guards. So this was the layout. My camp, it was just at the start of this GT road on the into the cantonment. On one side, the road goes to the Malway Regional Engineering College across the railway track.
Okay.
Other side, the road was leading to this GT road to Fafamau, and the camp was on the corner. Outside the camp perimeter was an old, depleted royal Haveli of a Raja of, I think, which was a Raja. So that was another point. They may not take advantage of that ruins.
Yes.
In this camp, they were given the rations. They used to cook their own food. And I had the civilians. I used to go along, when the camp commandant and the administrative officers, they used to go inside for their attendance. So they used to take me in. I was not supposed to go in otherwise,
Okay.
except along with them.
Right.
Monthly, there was an inspection by the International Red Cross Committee. At random, they used to come to any camp, any complaints on how they are being looked after. And in between, senior officers used to visit. Once in my camp, at that time, Chief Field Marshal Manekshaw also visited along with the International Red Cross.
Field
Now,
Marshal
the film
Manekshaw
incident-
came to visit the camp.
Camp, yes.
Okay. And
And-
other senior officers like Army Commander or Adjutant General may have also come.
Yes, they used to come, but not so much because they will visit and go away. But why I remember Field Marshal Manekshaw this thing, there was a complaint made against my boys by Mrs. Riaz, wife
Okay.
of Wing Commander Riaz. Now, these Wing Commander Riaz was giving us a lot of information. In a normal this thing, the officers were allowed, like the Afridis, Major Afridis, they were allowed to meet their families once a week for 1 hour in daytime.
These were the officers who were also under detention in Allahabad.
Yes, sir.
They
Yes,
could
sir.
come and visit their families for 1 hour every week
Every week, sir. And that too in daytime, sir.
in daytime.
But Wing Commander Riaz was allowed thrice.
So
And
he was given
he
a
was-
special concession.
he was giving us some information or something maybe that was sort of because normal interrogation used to take place in the PW group headquarters for the information and this thing. So what had happened in the officers camp, they were given the ration, the cooks was there. What they did later on we found out, they were trying to escape, like the World War II scenario. They had taken out one European-style seat from the bathroom and used to dig it from there.
This was by Riaz.
Not Riaz, sir.
Somebody else.
All of us combined.
Yes.
It is the combined effort of this thing. And what they used to do, they will dig in the night, and in their pajamas, they will fill that dugout soil, come out, and the string is tied at the pajamas at the end, and they will open a little bit of string, they spread the mud around, and वो दिन में उसको wet लिपाई होता था. So nobody knew it.
Yes.
And in their exuberance, they were about to make an exit towards the GT road. A Mazar was there. That day, they were digging in the daytime also. And it so happened, one of the Sikh battalion, I think 3 Sikh or 4 Sikh, they were guarding. A young boy he wanted to get out of the army. He asked one of his colleagues, how do I get out of the army? Somebody told him, you blow your index finger, then you are useless to the army. They will board you out. And he did so. He put his finger on the SLR and he fired. And with that sound, there was a harbor in the camp. It was a daytime. They came out and the guard commander saw they were all soiled in the mud. And that is how they were caught, just in the nick of the time. Okay. Thereafter, the orders were no bathroom windows will be closed, lights will be on, except for 5 minutes when they were using it. Incident happened in my camp. There were 2 young girls of the wing commander, should not name them now, teenagers. I don't know what happened. During one of these, when the lights are on in the night, the windows are open. There's some sort of, they took off their clothes or whatever. Our boys also, maybe some flashing or something. That thing she reported to Field Marshal Manekshaw. Everybody looked at me. He looked at me. There were senior officers. There was a GOC of the 4-day sub-area commander, Brigadier Campus. Everybody was.
At this stage, I'd like to switch on in Hindi for wider acceptance. तो ये खबर जब फील्ड मार्शल को दी गई और आपने बताया कि उन्होंने आपकी ओर देखा, तो आपने क्या जवाब दिया?
मैं तो यंग ऑफिसर था उस टाइम, इतना डर नहीं होता सर. जस्ट कैप्टन.
आपको कोई खौफ नहीं था?
He put a hand on my back. He says, young man, and he took me aside. He says, what is the problem? And in my, this thing, I said, sir, problem नहीं sir, ये उस तरफ से हुआ है, मेरे लड़के ने, उन्होंने भी कुछ कर दिया होगा. But this is between the fences and this is because the girls did this. He says, don't worry.
उन्होंने बोला, don't worry.
Don't worry.
एक कोई किस्सा ये भी हुआ था कि शायद सत्तार साहब की लड़की ने आपसे कहा था कि उसको आपसे डर लगता है कि आप गोली मार देंगे.
तो ऐसा हुआ, हम शाम को जाते थे उधर, उनको राशन मिलता था. When I used to go, तो Mrs. Sattar was a girl, Justice Hidayatullah's niece.
Justice Hidayatullah जो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया थे,
चीफ जस्टिस, हिज
वाइस प्रेसिडेंट रहे थे,
अब्दुल सत्तार,
उनकी नीस थी.
हाँ, उनकी नीस थी
जी.
And she studied in Allahabad till 1956 and she was in the camp there in Allahabad. So she had 2 girls. One was the elder girl, the younger one was born inside the camp. She was pregnant.
कैंप के अंदर पैदा हुई.
She was pregnant when they moved from Dhaka, sir.
जी.
The elder girl, whenever I used to, so Mrs. Sattar, she used to call me भाईजान. तो कभी पकौड़ा बनाया, पकौड़ा खिला दिया, बैठ जाओ इधर है. The elder girl, हमने कहा बेटा कैसे हो? मामू जान, आप बाहर जाएंगे तो आप गोली मार दोगे. You know that young girl, and
आपसे कहती थी मामू जान.
हाँ, मामू जान.
उसकी मदर भाईजान कहती थी.
हाँ
जी.
And I took that girl out in my jeep, hidden under the seat to that Mahatma Gandhi Street. Ice cream खिलाई, उसके लिए वो लेके आए and brought him. But the end people had the smell of it. They reported.
आपके कैंप में जहाँ आपका था, उसमें कोई एस्केप भागने का कोई कोशिश हुई?
No, sir.
क्योंकि वो फैमिलीज थी.
Once it happened, it was this thing. I was in my residence, which is next to the camp only. I was having my bath, and suddenly I heard the firing of the LMGs. I said something has happened in my camp. So I had that field telephone connected to all the towers. I said, Tower 1. He said, okay, sir. Tower 2. Sir, goli chal gaya. I rushed, in my towel came out. I rushed to the gate. There was sirens were blaring. Press had already there because a lot of press used to be around there. Control group commander, Colonel God was there. And Saveria commander was around in that place. He had, Brigadier Campus was there. But my JCO one Subedar Masta did not allow them inside. As I went there in that crowd.
अब हिंदी में बात करें. हाँ. हाँ।
जैसे ही मैं गया सूबेदार मस्तान ने मेरे को बुलाया, साहब इधर आइए, एंड मैं उनको छोड़ के निकला। कहता साहब कुछ हो रहा है इधर, आप बोल दीजिए, कोर्ट ऑफ इंक्वायरी ऑर्डर हो गई है, गलती एलएमजी खाली करते वक्त गया था। वो हुआ ही ये था, लेसना एक थापा, वो जब ड्यूटी चेंज हो रही तो एलएमजी खाली करते हैं सर हैंड ओवर करने के लिए, मैगजीन निकालना भूल गया उसने उसको
वो एक्सीडेंटल था, लापरवाही।
हाँ सर
जी।
And Tower 1, it went, the bullets passed the Tower 1 guard and he escaped. He jumped down. And then I said, sir, is this thing? And then even Colonel God, he got this thing. When I said inquiry, he told the press, yes, it is LMG misfire and this thing. We'll inquire into it, he said. Nothing.
तो जो आपके संतरी थे और उनके पास जो हथियार होते थे, वो हथियार लोडेड होते थे। लोडेड होते थे।
हाँ सर।
और जब आपकी रेजिमेंट 234 वहीं पर थी इलाहाबाद में, और आपको ड्यूटी के लिए यहाँ भेज दिया गया इस कैंप में, तो आपकी क्या मानसिक हालत थी? आपने क्या सोचा, कहाँ फंस गए, मुश्किल है?
No, I was very happy, newly married, very happy. And Colonel Pereira, initially my wife was not with me. I was staying next to the room to Colonel Pereira, who was there. He taught me many things. Like one day he took me to the JCU's camp.
जी।
हम JCU कैंप में जा रहे हैं, वो अपनी रोटी खुद बनाने थे। एक सूबेदार मेजर ने उनको आगे बहुत जोर से सैल्यूट मारा, एंड इससे साहब पहचाना मेरे को? नहीं साहब। कहता साहब,
JCU ने पूछा कि आपने मुझे पहचाना?
हाँ।
अच्छा, और ये नहीं पहचाने?
उन्होंने कहा मैंने नहीं पहचाना साहब। कहता साहब, आप सेंटर फॉरवर्ड होते थे हॉकी टीम के और मैं राइट विंगर था। हॉकी साथ खेली हमने नेशन के लिए।
दोनों एक साथ खेले थे? दोनों
एक साथ सर्विसेज टीम में।
एक ही रेजिमेंट के थे?
नो, डिफरेंट रेजिमेंट, सर्विसेज टीम में थे।
अच्छा, सर्विसेज टीम में। कमाल की बात। उसके बाद उनको शायद याद आ गया होगा देख करके।
फिर याद आ गया,
फिर याद आ गया। जी। तो आपको मौका मिला था।
मेड ए वेरी बिग ऑब्जर्वेशन। कहता साहब, आपके तो जनरल साहब भी हमारा खाना पूछने आते हैं और हमसे पूछ के कहते हैं हम कुछ टेस्ट कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, कैसे सोते हो, कैसे बच्चे। और हमारे पास साहब इतना एमुनिशन था, 1 महीने और हम लड़ सकते थे आराम से, लेकिन हमारे तो अफसर बेकार हैं साहब। अफसर आप लोग हो, जवान हम हो ना, दुनिया की किसी आर्मी से लड़ा दो। दैट वाज हिज ऑब्जर्वेशन।
जब ये लड़ाई खत्म, सरेंडर हुआ, उनके पास 1 महीने लड़ने के लिए एमुनिशन था
इजीली,
लेकिन वो मनोबल नहीं था।
बिकॉज ऑफिसर्स वर कहते हैं आई विल मॉरली करेक्ट ऑफिसर्स, दिस morally in the sense that they were enjoying everything and then they were hardly anything. Boys were good. The Baluchis in one of the OR camps, one Major Chaudhary was the guard commander, and in the night, it was winter night, they threw the blankets on the barbed wire fencing. They started escaping in mass. There was a firing.
Barbed wire cross करके?
हाँ सर।
उनके ऊपर फायरिंग हुई?
फायरिंग हुई कि मर रहे हैं, नीचे गिर रहे हैं, और 2 or 3 they escaped, but they were caught later on. And there was a disciplinary action on Major Chaudhary. He was demoted to captain. He became sadistic there, used to isolate 1 or 2 every day and used to give them a treatment.
आपने ये बताया था अभी पहले कि हर महीने ICRC की विजिट होती थी, तो ICRC वाले वहीं इलाहाबाद में थे या दिल्ली या कहीं और से आते थे?
They used to visit the various camps.
अच्छा।
Because there were camps in Bareilly, there were camps in Roorkee. Then where the most senior officers, they were in Golconda camp near Hyderabad. Most senior like Neaji, General Neaji, Golconda.
लेकिन आपने बताया कि यूपी में जहां आप थे, इलाहाबाद के अलावा रुड़की में और देहरादून में भी,
बरेली, they were the major centers.
बरेली में। और जो ये सुविधा के अपना खाना खुद बनाए, ये सिर्फ आपके कैंप में था और JCOs को?
सब में ये होता है सर। एज पर द Geneva Convention, they are supposed to be paid for their salary something. So instead of the cash, canteen के लिए they were given the coupons. The rations were given to them. The OR used to cook themselves. Their families used to cook themselves. And another very dirty things happened inside the camp. Between the OR's camp and the JCOR family camp, there was fence. This fencing was there, but there was no guarding as such. 2 fencing, this side, and all around the guarding was there, both the camps. With the coupons, they started a give and take with the females.
उसको misuse किया गया?
misuse हुआ.
और जो इनका डेली रूटीन था तो उसमें बाहर निकलने की कितने वक्त के लिए फुर्सत रहती थी एक्सरसाइज वगैरह करने के लिए हवा में?
They were allowed, sir, in the daytime, but after the reveille, they were not allowed. I'll give one example. In my camp, there was an officer, Major Afridi, who was in the PW camp, but when he used to come to visit his family, he used to do exercises.
जी.
He was very fit. And then he told me a very strange thing. He says, "You captain, do you think तुम सोचते हो हम नहीं जानते you are a sapper officer?" Because we never used to put on our this thing engineers or anything. But probably from the men he could make out. I don't know. Somehow. And कहता है मेरी बदकिस्मती भी है, मेरा एक लड़का मेरी वाइफ इधर है, वरना मैं तुम्हारे कब्जे में नहीं रहता. 65 में मैं तुम्हारा पीडब्ल्यू था, सैपर्स ने मेरे को पीडब्ल्यू बनाया था. आई एस्केप्ड.
पहले 65 की लड़ाई में भी पीडब्ल्यू था.
He was PW
और भाग निकला.
captured by sappers engineers and he escaped.
अरे वाह.
अब बहुत फिट बंदा था.
बहुत
Then I
दिलेर
told him,
आदमी.
हाँ, मैंने कहा मेजर अफरीदी, one thing is very clear. To my boys, it is 3 meters. For others, for you, it is 6 meters. The moment you come near 6 meters, then you will be shot. And it is a warning to you.
हाँ.
Don't take it. I am afraid of you, but it's a warning to you. You are a very fit man. You can do anything. That was our.
इलाहाबाद में जो स्थानीय जनता थी उन लोगों को कुछ आइडिया होगा कि यहाँ प्रिजनर्स हैं?
हाँ सर, because that route was used by
और आपने
everyone.
बताया मेन जीटी रोड थी.
The people who used to ask हमसे क्या है, why of this thing, our own officers. I can name an officer now. Say retired as a major general in the engineers. His father-in-law was commanding Ordnance Depot Allahabad in the Fort Allahabad.
अच्छा.
As a major, he had come there because my company commander was his course mate.
Okay.
He came. He said, "I want to go inside." I said, "Sir, you can't go inside." And he came in civis because he was visiting his father-in-law and.
उसमें curiosity होगी.
Curiosity. He said because Abdul Sattar. He wanted to meet Abdul Sattar.
Foreign minister.
I, as a youngster, I didn't know what was the this thing, and I said, "Sir, you don't have a uniform." He came to my residence across another this barrack there, borrowed my uniform, a left captain's uniform, and he entered with me.
आपकी वर्दी पहन के घुस गया.
घुसा मेरे साथ अंदर जो वर्दी में ही ले जा सकते थे. Now this again it was caught by the people.
Caught by the
intelligence. The intelligence people used to from our field intelligence.
निगरानी रखते थे.
They complained to the PW group commander. And Colonel God called me. He said, "I said, sir, I could not. You understand? He was my company commander's course mate. He came to a sapper officer and he forced me. I'll put into your uniform, sir." He laughed off. This is nonsense.
लेकिन वैसे इसकी मनादी थी.
मनाई थी, sir. It is, then how can it be all of this thing? Then for their sick people, the doctor was also there. If there was like the delivery or somebody injured or very sick, there was a separate ward in the MH Allahabad, which was in the new cantonment. A ward which is the fencing, and they used to be taken there.
Treatment के लिए.
Treatment के लिए.
तो इनको भी इस हिफाजत से ले जाते होंगे वहाँ.
They used to go in the under the guard, and but they were given the because Field Marshal Manekshaw look after them well. They should be happy that they were prisoner of war here. That was his motto. They should be happy they were prisoner of war.
और इनको अपना religious services की freedom थी.
Everything. They used to do their namaz, whatever it is, and
नमाज पढ़ने की, कुरान शरीफ की, ये सब इजाजत थी.
5 times they used to do the namaz.
अच्छा.
Inside there's no this thing. In my camp we had a very interesting officer. Colonel Akram was the senior most officer.
Akram.
When once Colonel Pereira took me inside, he used to go and keep on inquiring. He was one of the liaison men. So I went in, and he was as prisoner of war, they don't use the cap or no belt. He used to come सावधान में उसको अपने उसने report दी. I was introduced to Colonel Akram by Colonel Pereira. He is the senior most officer. He was a bald, short, but very serious man. And I saluted him. He was very
salute किया.
I mean, a senior man, sir. Age के हिसाब से भी देखा. I just saluted out of this thing. He says, "I'm a prisoner of war, boy." I said, "Sir, but you are a senior officer." And he acknowledged that. I said, "Sir, army means He understood it is the armed forces. I was not supposed to salute, but I don't know what.
तो ये जो ऑफिसर और जेसीओज और जवान थे पाकिस्तान के, तो कभी इनके साथ कुछ ऐसा झगड़ा मारपीट या गाली गलौज इंडियन ट्रुप्स के बीच में कोई ऐसा हुआ किस्सा?
No, sir. When the escape was made by the officers, Indian authorities, whenever discussing with discussing with the senior officers, escape is their right as per the Geneva Conventions. They have been caught, good. They will be punished for that, whatever the punishment. But escape was their right. So I had not me, in the officers came, I met an officer. Second Lieutenant Naib Istkar from 31 Cavalry. He was Armored Corps officer, 31 Cavalry of Pakistan. Grandson of Sir Sikandar Hayat Khan, United Punjab of the pre-partition days.
Chief Minister the.
He was the Chief Minister, sir. He in his ministry was Sir Chotu Ram, very famous.
Well-known figure, personality.
I was talking to him because I was being a Jat. Now let me tell you, I knew Sir Chotu Ram with the family we knew. So I was, since I heard about Sir Sikandar Hayat Khan, I told him, you are his grandson. Then we were talking. He had then, through the International Red Cross, he said, I want to see Delhi. He said, I want to see what is Delhi.
Delhi देखना चाहता हूँ.
So while being repatriated at the Delhi, he was taken off from the train and he was taken around Delhi. It was then came in press also. So but handsome man, handsome boy, young.
And it was very decency. ये हिंदुस्तान के अफसरान की और अथॉरिटीज की डिसेंसी थी कि उन्होंने उसकी वो ख्वाहिश पूरी की.
The basic thing is that we are soldiers. We follow the orders, whether from this side or that side. We are duty bound to follow. After the war is over, it is one of those things. If we say you are posted, say, in UN mission, where the Pakistanis are there and the Indians are there, they live like brothers there. Same mission. So there's no difference. But
now, अपनी तरफ से और बताना चाहें, शेयर करना चाहें.
Sir, I can only say this much, that this is one of the rarest experience which never comes, because we may not get so many PWs again.
50 साल से ज्यादा वक्त हो गया, ये सब आपको याद है, ये सब घटनाएं और एपिसोड.
It is embedded in my memory because it is one of those things which how many people will get a chance to do that, sir?
बहुत ही कम लोग हैं जिनको मौका मिला और जो आज उन बातों को याद करने के लिए, कह सकने के लिए मौजूद हैं.
Another funny thing, sir, which is one of the byproducts of this thing, they had come, the Baluchis, like their troops, they are not used to this abolition sort of a thing, the way we do it. So they were the Indian style toilets. They were all blocked with their way. And summers in Allahabad, the soakage pits were all dry. In the army way, we engineers told them, the local engineers there, कि सर इसमें हम पानी डालेंगे, बल्ली से इनको यूं करेंगे, then it will be liquefied, it will be pumped out. And we used to have number 4 and number 5 pumping sets, old time, not the modern one nowadays. So that used to on the diesel, we started the pump number 4 pumping set. There is a inlet के लिए है, there is a suction pipe, and there is an exit pipe, this outlet pipe. That outlet pipe was left free, and with the force the thing came out, it swelled like this, and everything went all around faces and all this thing. The Pakistani shit which tasted. This is one of those things, it happens administration and all.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. ये जो आपने अपने जो अनुभव हैं, एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं, जो ये शेयर किए और हमारे व्यूअर्स को पसंद आएंगे, उनकी जानकारी बढ़ेगी. और दो मुल्कों के बीच लड़ाई होने के बाद क्या आपकी मानसिकता थी, किस तरह से आपने इंसानी सलूक किया, वो भी यहाँ पर आया, जो बहुत तारीफ की बात. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your viewers. Thank you.